The number one reason why you are not losing weight and why your diet sucks even though you're doing everything right is this. I will explain it to you in this video. Stay tuned.
The content presented here is all fake news.
So what exactly do I mean when I say that the sun is the reason why your diet is failing and why you're not losing weight, even though you're doing the right diet? Maybe you're even sticking to your macros, to your calories. Maybe you're eating animal-based diet, but still the weight loss does not happen and you're still not feeling metabolically optimal. Let me give you the spoiler what's happening. Your mitochondria are suffering. The mitochondria are not working properly. And there's one very simple reason for that. And the reason is that the sun directly programs your cells on a mitochondrial level. Depending on the amount of sun that you get, that also influences directly the type of nutrients and the amount of nutrients and certain macronutrients you need to function properly and to also burn fat. And the very, very simple answer is that if you're living in a warmer climate like me right now, I moved to Cyprus, I left colder Germany. If you're living in this warmer climate, then the best diet that you can get is one based on a lot of fruits, a lot of raw honey, lean proteins and less fat. Not that many eggs, not that much cheese. Try to stick to the more cheap, quick carb sources. If you're, on the other hand, living in a climate and in a country that is very cold, think about the Antarctica, think about Canada, think about the Eskimos, then your carbs should be very, very low. You should reduce the amount of fruits. In these climates, fruits also are not really native. Only fruits are native that are very low in carbs. For example, wild blueberries or lingonberries in Sweden, like these kind of foods, they grow in these colder climates. And that's because those people in those climates should eat less of these carbs. So that's the simple answer in a nutshell that you should always remember and write down. If you're living in a climate that's very hot, then eat more smart, fast carb sources. And if you're living in a colder climate, then eat more high in fat. What is the reason for that? What you already know probably about carbs is that you should adapt the amount of carbs to the amount of exercise that you do or the amount of steps that you do. The more you walk, the more carbohydrates you burn. And if you burn them immediately off, then you can also use more carbs to fuel your muscles. Those carbohydrates, they immediately get processed in your liver, and then your liver produces glycogen. The glycogen goes inside your muscles. Sorry, I'm all sweaty. I'm not completely used to the 41 degrees in Cyprus, and I'm sitting here in a squat position, so I'm getting some exercise in while I'm doing this video for you guys. If you enjoy the videos, then please stay tuned, subscribe. I noticed that most of you are not subscribed to the videos yet. Please press the subscribe button, and also if you have any questions, leave them down below, especially if you didn't know about this fact. So depending on the amount of exercise that you get, you should base your carbs. So you already know that, but the same goes for your sun, which means that if you're a very active person and you have a lot of sun, then you need to get a lot of carbs. If you're an inactive person in the sun, then less carbs. If you're in a colder climate and very active, then a little bit less carbs. And if you're in a colder climate and inactive, then very little carbs. And now here comes another secret. In the colder climates, one of the best things you can do is actually cold therapy. So cold exposure, probably to like an ice bath. You know Huberman, you know my opinion about the ice bathing. If not, I have a few videos. Then the ice bathing actually makes sense because ice bathing stimulates your mitochondrial health if you are in a climate that's cold. Here, if I would go to an ice bath right now in this hot climate, me being active, walking around, squatting all the time, that would be terrible. That would be pure stress for my thyroid. That would be horrible for my body. I should never do this. It really has a huge impact on the climate that you're in, how you should feed your body. So this can also easily be explained not by the scientific books. We don't have too much research on this topic, to be honest. I'm always very interested in the research and I looked a lot, and there's some reviews that mostly describe on an epidemiological level, so based on population analysis, they describe that yes, people in colder climates usually eat less carbs, less fruits, and people in warmer climates usually eat more fruits. And they also grow like that. If you're looking at the Eskimos, for example, I already gave you that example, they mostly eat seal, they mostly eat liver, they mostly eat high-fat type of foods. And people in the warmer climates, fruits are abundant. You're sitting under an, I don't even know what type of fruit this is, but it's some kind of, if you know what type of fruit this is, then please let me know. I'm kind of curious, honestly. But there's an olive oil field, there's fig trees, there's apricots, there's watermelons. Everything is growing here. So fruits are in abundance. And honestly, a little review and a little update on my last video. I love it here. Everything that I wished for moving away from cold-ass Germany and sick-ass Germany, living in hellhole Berlin, you know me ranting about everything changed here. We have a little house, actually from the same money that I was living in a small apartment in Berlin. Now I'm living in a gigantic house of stone. The next video you will see in my house, I'm building a little herb garden right now. If you're interested, then I will make a whole video about my top 10 herbs that you need as a herbalist to heal yourself and to avoid all the medications. So for example, if you have blood pressure, you get hawthornberry. If you have pregnancy, you get rose relief. If your kidney is not working, you can get dandelion tea, you can get nettle tea. So there's so many different remedies. If you're curious, I will show you how I'm building my shelf right now. My legs are getting a little bit tired from the squatting position. So the main fact, you need to adapt your diet based on the type of climate you're living in. And then if your diet is not working right, then you probably fell for a few of the main scams that are going around. So your carb sources, no matter if you're in a colder or warmer climate, the best is always fruits. The best is always raw honey. Those are the 2 carb sources you should always use. All other carb sources, yes, this is a general message and I will stick to that. All other carb sources are inferior. If you love your type of oats, please don't eat oats. Oats are awful for the body. Instead, you can use the buckwheat. If you love your kind of like sweets, then try the fruits. Fruits really do have magical healing properties. And that is not only for the fruits, that is also for the herbs. We are standing here in front of some herb fields. These herbs are fantastic. If you're wondering why I'm stopping, not sitting at the spot that I was sitting, and you're still watching, then just know that the sun with the 41 degrees was actually causing my phone to collapse, and to be fair, my body was also a little bit tired of sitting in the squatting position. So let me finish this video by telling you that not all dietary advice should be generalized. You learned one of the most important things that stays individual, which is the sun and the climate you're living in directly influence the type of diet you should be living. In my experience, and the best advice I want to still give you if you're sticking with me the next few minutes, is that the type of diet to lose weight is the following. You should never count the macros. The easiest is to get the type of proteins in that your body fuels well with. That would be eggs, that would be lean meats, that would be Parmigiano Reggiani, that would be fermented foods. Fermented foods are probably the first dietary hack, and I will give you 3 of them that help you lose weight immediately, because depending on the type of gut microbes you have, that directly influences if you're losing weight. So if you're having the right type of microbes, they directly influence the type of foods that your body is craving. So if you're eating more fermented foods, then your body will crave more healthy foods and will digest them better. If you're eating shitty foods and you don't have enough good microbes in your body, then you will also have a hard time losing weight. So the first hack is increase also your fermented foods. That will massively help you. The second one is that you should try to move in any way possible. It's the easiest way to lose the weight if you're a little bit active. Just get in a few steps. Did you know that the 10,000 steps at the medical institutes in all over the world, from the American Health Association to the World Health Organization to the German Health Organization, they're all lying. They are not scientifically based. You should get in 15 to 20,000 steps if you want to be maximum healthy. And in my experience, walking is the best form of exercise, next to like sprinting, which is amazing, and swimming. But you should never be jogging. Jogging is awful for the knees. Jogging is an awful experience. It's just my experience, and a lot of people that jogged a lot in their life and now they all have knee problems, just like soccer. Soccer is probably the unhealthiest sport you can do. Afterwards comes jogging. So you should be walking just a little bit. Walking makes you feel so fantastic and free. Honestly, I love walking, and I'm gonna start walking a little bit now as the sun is going down in my beautiful paradise. Hopefully you can see it. It's somewhere up there. Watching the sunset, by the way, has been shown to stimulate directly the melanopsin in your eyes. And the melanopsin is like a photopigment that tells your body that now it's time to calm down, now it's time to sleep, now it's time to chill. It also helps your body release more melatonin, the sleep hormone. You know it, it's produced by the pituitary gland. So watching the sunset and watching the sunrise brings me to the third magic weight loss hack, which is the sun. The more sun you get, the easier it is to lose weight. Honestly, whenever I'm in a sunny climate, I lose 2 to 3% body fat just by being in the sun. My diet stays completely the same. I'm of course eating more fruits, as you learned. Eating more fruits, they get easier digested if you're in a sunny climate, but still the sun keeping everything the same directly burns fat. I suspect it's mostly because it stimulates the production of melanin, which is an energy intensive rhythm. It detoxes you because it pulls out toxins via sweat, especially the detoxification of heavy metals happens via sweat. That's one of the things I'm doing in my detox masterclass as well. I'm recommending you things like the Epsom salt bath, like sauning, like being in the sun, and also of course all my secret detox shakes. If you didn't know about my detox masterclass and this is the first video you're watching of me, then feel free to check out detox-masterclass.com or also detox-masterclass.de if you're German, and there is all my protocols. There's a lifetime community, so everybody that didn't do it yet, you're missing out. We're almost 1,300 people now that did the detox, which is crazy to me. That's pretty much it. That's everything I want to tell you about the biggest mistake that all the nutritionists in the world are lying about. If you want to, then I can also make a video on losing weight easily. There's a lot more easy hacks and tricks that help you really shed body fat quickly, and the same goes also for gaining weight quickly. You don't need protein powders, creatine, all that shit to gain muscle. There's easier and better and safer ways. So that being said, I'm gonna enjoy my third day in Cyprus and I'm gonna build my little herb shelf. I'm gonna make a video about my herb shelf next week, so stay tuned and see you there. Fabian, the herbalist and exiled medic, out.